Well, first of all, welcome everybody. The coronavirus thing is changing the way that we interact with each other and how we try to help our members. So this was a brainchild of ours here at the Chamber as a way to try to reach out to our members and to give them some useful information and to give them some tools that they can use for their business. So what I'd like to do first is go over some graphic design basics and tips with you. This is an article that comes from HubSpot. They are world renowned for digital marketing. And so I just wanted to share a few things with you first with graphic design, okay? This will be a couple of steps here. The first, it says to start with purpose. What type of content are you designing? A social media ad, email template, header, or ebook? These are three different pieces of content with three wildly different purposes and goals. Before you create your piece of graphic design, jot down the purpose of your content. This can help you keep your design goals aligned with the content goals as you create your piece of art. Second, apply your style guide. When deciding on what design elements to include, consider your company's branding style guide. It says we'll get into that and how to create it. It says this guide will immediately show you what colors, fonts, and other design elements to use when designing your content. From there, you can make small tweaks depending on what type of content you're creating. 3, create order with lines and alignment. Lines and alignment in your graphic design can create movement and order. Align the text in your graphic to guide your viewer as they read or incorporate horizontal lines to section off your text and imagery. Similar to how you format long blog posts and small paragraphs, lines and alignment make pieces of graphic design easier to digest. So we'll go over some more of this, but the reason we start here is we will first be working with this article. We will be transitioning to a workshop. Did everybody have a chance to view the agenda for the meeting? The instructions there?
Yes.
So we're going to go into a design workshop after that. So this is a little precursor into some graphic design tips that hopefully we can utilize. It says pepper and some icons and illustrations. Colors, text, and images make for gorgeous graphics, but don't limit your elements to those three. Icons and illustrations can also spice up an otherwise text or image-heavy piece of content. Icons might also be able to illustrate concepts that photos can't, and they serve as creative bullet points for long lists. Okay, and then some branding and logo design tips. We're going to go through this. So we're going to do some branding and logo design, and we're going to use the program that we'll be demonstrating. First, it says design the aesthetic of your personality. So we're going to go through this in just a minute. How do you visually present the personality of your brand and company? If your brand was a person, what would he or she be like? Your branding should reflect the answer to these questions. Before starting your design, make a list of adjectives that describe your brand, company, and culture. This will help you choose color combinations, images, fonts, and other design elements and bring out the key points of your personality. Also, using your brand adjectives as guidance, build a collection of images, graphics, color samples, and similar logos that represent the mood of your brand. So, some instructions here. And as far as the branding, I know that many of you won't be creating perhaps all new logos or images for companies or for even just this meeting, but I wanted to share some of these things so that you could kind of see behind the picture a little bit. You know, with the Beaumont Chamber and the things that I do as the media and event coordinator, I have to make sure that our media is uniform, that we look the same across different social media platforms, which we'll demonstrate, and that everything is, you know, formal and uniform and looks like us wherever we are. That's Facebook, social media, Google My Business, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, wherever we are, we need to look like the Beaumont Chamber. We have our logo, which you can see if I turn off my video. Our logo is, everywhere. It's circular. It works well online. That's part of our brand. So these core aspects that I'm reading about here, we need to be aware of what our branding is and how we can best demonstrate that in a uniform way. We have the blue and white as our colors. You'll see that in a lot of our promotionals. You'll see our logo. You'll see our slogan, building a better business, building a better community, one business at a time. You'll see that throughout our graphics as part of our branding. So it's important to keep these things kind of in the back of your mind before we go through this, okay? Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, we're doing okay. I haven't lost anybody. This reminds us to keep it simple. It says your branding should communicate your aesthetic in less than a second. Impressions are made in the blink of an eye, and your logo and brand identity is no exception. Consumers will decide if they like, dislike, are impressed by, or want nothing to do with your brand in a split second. So keep your design simple and to the point. Prioritize consistency. This is perhaps the most important tip when it comes to branding and logo design. Be consistent. You can spend hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars developing a gorgeous visual identity for your brand, but if it's not reflected on every piece of print and digital content, all your resources have gone to waste. Again, keeping it consistent and uniform wherever it's seen. Consistency applies on a couple different axes. Horizontally, along your content elements, in other words, in your fonts, spacing, and color combinations, and vertically across your content outlets. Create a style guide to encourage everyone to adhere to your branding. So it's important to develop a list of what some of these branding elements are so that as you go through and you continue to create more content, you're able to have it like a master list that you can stay true to. Your colors, your style. Maybe your style is very professional. Maybe your style is a little more business casual. Some companies are huge on social media just for being funny. If you remember Slim Jim on Instagram is incredibly popular because they are very sarcastic and very outgoing and actually kind of crazy. Wendy's, the restaurant, is just the same. So depending on what's appropriate in your field of business and with your personality as a brand, it's important to be consistent to that because it'll be recognized and you'll be known for it online. So you need to be as consistent as you can and take a look at your business. Like it said, if it were a person, what would they be like? Think about those things before you create social media content, because once it goes out there, it's out there forever. And you want it to be something that you're proud of and something that accurately serves you and your business. So it's important to remember these things. Some things that we could keep in mind as we go through this. It tells us to adapt a user's perspective. So I'll summarize for you. If somebody takes a look at your logo, at your email, at whatever piece of design content that you have, make sure you go through it yourself first. Give it a proofread, make sure the information's there. A step that we go through with all of our media is that we'll actually print it out. We'll take something like this and we'll print it out, we'll proofread it, we make sure the information's there, but we make sure that it's easy to read, that it's scaled correctly. A common tool for this as well is to read things out loud. Sometimes we'll word something very quickly, be it in a caption or even on a graphic itself, and we'll put it together very quickly, and it'll sound great, and then you'll speak it, and you'll go, hang on, that doesn't flow quite right, or maybe that word's a little funny. So it's important to put it through some steps before you put something out on the internet, because again, it'll be out there forever unless you take it back down. So being uniform, anticipating the challenges, proofreading, just kind of engineering and working through your own materials will help you to have the best quality content possible. We go through that here at the office. Everything that we make, we proof check. It's seen by a couple of different people to add their perspective wherever possible. And often there are mistakes. Sometimes the dates are wrong. Sometimes the time is wrong. The address isn't listed. There needs to be a contact number. And Betty here has taught me always to use the who, what, where, and why. So you might write those down. Who are you talking to? What is it for? Where is it happening? And why is it happening? So that is a good method there to keep some uniformity, to prevent some mistakes from happening, and to keep your standards very high with your content as you go through. Okay, so any questions or comments about those?
Sterling, I typically read mine out loud because I tend to miss words. I'm typing, it's in here, but it's not down there. So exactly. I typically will catch it and then have somebody here in the office when possible read it as well.
That's perfect. And everybody will miss things. You could try to proofread yourself. You could try to go through it yourself. And it might look great for what's there, and that could be correct, but you might be forgetting something to add. And I'm guilty of that myself. So there are many times things that we've missed or things that we can do. So the who, what, when, where, and how is very important. Okay. Okay, does everybody have access to hopefully a computer, or you could even do it on a phone or a tablet, but we're going to jump onto our computers at this point, and I'm going to do some screen sharing. Okay, so we're going to move into our design workshop. We're going to put some of this into place here. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to go to this website. It's called Canva, CANVA .com. So if you guys will jump into that, this will allow you to use the graphic design tool that I use. It's completely free. It'll ask you to sign up, and it may bug you at a point for their like premium service, but you can click skip. So I'm going to show you what this looks like as well here. So if I go to Canva and if I log out, it's going to run you through this. So you could go through here and click sign up. You can sign up with email, so you just do your name, email, and password, and you could get started, and it's free. So just go ahead and log in through there. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to go through that.
Sterling, it's wanting a credit card.
You can skip this. So I was trying to get to it exactly. It is totally free. Let me see this.
Maybe later?
Yes, choose anything that says no. And it'll kick you out to the next screen, and it should open up to this kind of screen right here. This is the dashboard once you open it up.
This is the one that my volunteer was using on my computer. So I have it already downloaded, and that's what we've used in the past a little bit, but she's always created it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how to myself.
Perfect. Just let me know if you guys have questions. If it asks for the credit card, it's not necessary. So don't sign up with that or anything. Just click the skip or the maybe later, whatever button there you can, and it should kick you out, and you should find yourself at this screen here. So just let me know if you have any trouble with that.
Is that right? It doesn't.
I'm sorry?
Mine doesn't say design anything. It says start your first design.
Okay, so you should be in the correct place.
Okay.
Mine says start your first design. So what do we do with that? Is that correct?
Once you get to that screen is where we're going to wait for just a moment, okay? So
Okay.
once everybody can get there, we'll go ahead and proceed.
Mine is asking me, what will I be using Canva for?
Just tell it to use logos, social media stuff.
Well, it's got
it just
teachers,
kinda wants to-
sorry.
Okay.
It's got teacher, student, personal, small business, large company.
Yeah, just choose whatever is most appropriate for what your use will be.
Okay.
I think it just tries to match you up with what some of your most likely content could be.
Well, it had nonprofit, so that worked. I got it.
Perfect. So is anybody not there yet? Is everybody at the your first design anything screen? Is everybody there?
Yeah, I'm there too, sir.
Okay. Everybody good to go? Can we move forward?
Well, I don't think so. We should be where?
So
Design.
I'll show you. You should be at a screen just like this. It says design anything, and this is just your home screen. So we're logged in now with our email, and we can get started designing.
Sterling, it's possible that that the screen could look a little different. Like I've got a different picture background for the design anything thing. Mine's actually
Which is okay, as long as you've gotten past the email screen and you've been able to log in. That's what we're looking for.
Mine says start your first design, which a couple other people have mentioned. Is that maybe because we're brand new logging in?
Probably. Is there anybody that doesn't have it up at all, is stuck in a login screen or anything like that?
Yes, I'm stuck in. My internet kicked me out, so I'll try again.
Okay. We'll give you a moment, no problem. So some little information about this while Diana is getting ready there. This allows you to create any kind of custom sized content that you want. So this will be very important. We'll see that in a moment. It's very important to have the right size images and the right size graphics for wherever you're putting it onto the internet so that your screen resolution looks great and it's designed appropriately, it's formatted. So what we're going to do, if you saw this on your digital agenda that I sent you by the email, we're going to pretend that we have a company. So we're going to make a fictional company here. We're going to do some of the logo and the branding. It'll teach us a little bit about branding as we've read, and it'll also allow us the opportunity to get in and to use some of the design tools, okay? So as soon as we're all ready, we can go ahead and do that. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When we get to that point, as we're building this, is there a way, Habitat specifically gives us Pantone colors. Is there a way to pick up the actual Pantone color to drop in to make sure we're using our branding correctly?
Sure.
I got the user guide up. That's why I was looking at it. And
so one of the things that this features here is a brand kit, which is on their subscription service, but you could copy all of it without having to subscribe. So what you could do is just try to get these together so that you have an idea of what typical font they use, your color palettes as close as you can. I'll show you when we get into a design. You can put some things together so that you can have some uniformity. Like for example, with the chamber, when I came in, we had existing photos and graphics, but to get the colors right, all I did was put it up on one scale and then take the color and it'll give you a color code. You'll see and when we go through it, it'll give you a color code that you can save. And then every time you go into Canva to make a new design, you can just use the same color codes. It may take a little bit of eyeballing it if you upload something to color match, but you can get it pretty close. It shouldn't be a problem. Diana, how are we doing? Do you need
And I'm
any?
good. Yeah,
time?
I'm design anything.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go back into the share screen. Okay, so we're on our home page. Inside of this little bar, we're going to type in a logo, okay? And that's what we're going to work with first. So it's going to give us an automatic size. It's going to do a square. 1500 by 1500 is the resolution. So just type in logo and it should give that to you. And then we're going to click, okay? It'll give you some templates. There are many different templates here on Canva that you can use. You can use those for logos, for cover photos, for email headers, for whatever you like, but we're just going to do blank, okay? So we read a little bit about branding. So we've got some information here. If you guys had the agenda available, I'll tell you what we're going to be going through for the design here, okay? You guys can follow along with exactly what I'm doing if you like. You can put your own spin on this, make it yours, whatever feels most appropriate. But I'm going to be going through this with you as well. So our pretend company is a business to customer clothing store called Vision Apparel. Their style is very modern and casual, and their colors are red and white. So this is some of the branding that we read about. So we're going to use red and white. It's Vision Apparel is the name, and they're a clothing retail store, similar to like say a Marshalls or a Kohl's or something like that, right? So we've got red and we've got white. So on the left side of the screen here, where my mouse is, this is where you'll be interacting with different elements. You can add photos, you can do uploads. These are some of the things I've worked on before. So you can do uploads, you can pull photos in. They have tons and tons of free photos, so you can drag those in. They have elements is where you'll spend a lot of time. You can do lines, you can do squares, you can do all kinds of different shapes and things through here. We've got text, so we can add it in different size, and they do give you font combinations so that you can use these and kind of get inspired on what sizes and shapes for these here. You do have the ability to do video, though I don't use that much, so I can't tell you too much about it. But you can process video through this. This is our canvas, so to speak, right here. So you can actually add a background right to it just by using backgrounds, and then you can just actually backspace that off and it'll go away. So because we're using red and white as our colors, I'm going to go into elements and grab a square. So I can just click that, and this is where you can move it and you can scale it. Okay, I can scale this in any direction that I want to. So I'm going to make this cover the entire square here. And then I'm going to color it. So because our color is red, they do have the default colors up here, but I'm going to do something a little bit different, maybe a little bit darker. Okay, so keep in mind this is a logo. Many of the logos need to be very simple, like we read about. So Vision Apparel is our name, and I'm going to play off of the vision part of that a little bit. So I'm going into elements and I'm typing I, and I can actually find a little clip art of an eye and drag it over. Did you see how I did that? So red and white are our colors. So I'm going to make this white. So I'm going up here to change the color. And I can drag this anywhere that I want. And you see this pink line come up right here. That tells me that I'm in the exact center. If I were trying to get there, I could also use position and then center it from here. Okay. So we've got the eye there, and I'm going to put some text here. They have a lot of different kinds of text, and there's a lot of different things that you can do with that. So I'm using just the regular text here. I've pulled on Vision Apparel, okay? So we are going to do some things with this. So I'm going to drag this out so that it's in one line. Actually, I'm going to do a drop. And I'm going to change this text. I'm going to keep it white, but I'm going to change the text type. So right now this is Open Sans extra bold. If we click in the corner, we're able to change that, okay? So we could go through and change it.
Vernon, I'm sorry, could I ask, I have a little bit of a lag on my computer, and so could we slow down just about this much so I could keep
Sure.
up with the mouse?
No problem. So we're just have clicked on text, and then we're going to search, okay? So
And another question, I can't figure out how you get rid of something. Where's your,
so to get rid of something, all that you need to do is click on it and press backspace, and it'll delete.
and okay. And the back, where
And
is
if you
the back?
need to put it back, there's an undo button right here.
Oh, there it is. Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Does that work for that?
it did. Got it.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
can I ask a question? Somewhere I missed how we got the color red.
Okay, so for red, we went under elements and we typed square. We got a square. So we can type square under elements. Do you see that?
Uh-huh.
We can press enter and it'll give us the results. And then just this very first square here on my screen, we dragged that over. And then up here in the top left corner is the color.
Ah,
And then we just did a
the gray
custom
bouquet.
color.
got it.
I chose this right here. And then I can delete that just again with backspace. So we're going to change where it says vision here. Remember our style was modern and casual. This doesn't look very modern. So what we can do, this is actually really cool. If you just click to search for a new font, you'll see some suggestions come up. Do you see where it says handwriting and corporate? These are some styles. So we can actually go through and scroll here with the little arrow. So we're going to scroll a little bit until we see modern, okay? So we want it to have a very modern visual appeal to it. So if we click this, it'll show us all of the text in here that's available to us that is more modern in design. So we're going to click on this, and it's going to give us some results. Usually modern text is kind of thin and very straight. So there's a couple of options here, okay? So I'm just gonna kind of pick what I think looks pretty okay. This one I like. So I'm gonna use this one. This is Dosis Regular. You can use any size or type that you like. This is just me demonstrating how we're going through this, but how we're keeping in mind the branding as we're going through this, okay? We've got our vision that we're playing off of with the little eye there. We've got the red is our colors, the white is our color. We've got modern font, so you can see how this is kind of coming together. What I'm gonna do here is now play with some sizing. So I really want vision to stand out. So I can go up here and change to make vision a lot larger. I have the pre-selected sizes, or I can actually type right into this using my keyboard. So I'm going to make this bigger, and I'm going to make apparel much smaller. I can also go over here to spacing. This allows me to space out the letters from each other, but also the lines up and down. So when you're doing something as simple as a logo, these small details are very important. Once you get through on something larger like a promotional or even a full page flyer, your word spacing isn't going to be quite as critical, but because this is so design focused here, I'm going to pay special attention to this. So under the spacing feature, we have two options. We have letter spacing, which is 0 by default, and then we have a line height, which is just about 1.5. So what I'm going to do is actually space out the letters a little bit on vision. So I've selected that, and I'm going to space this out a little bit. And then the line height, I'm going to bring it in a little closer. So those you can fill in. You can also just use the dragger bar, but I've spaced out the words a little bit, and then I've added, you know, a little shorter distance between them. So we've formatted that a little bit more. And now, since they're grouped together here, I can actually just put my mouse on the corner and then scale it up just a little bit. So I'm going to pull this over to scale it. And now I need to go back to the center. So I can go to position and then just choose center. And I can format this. Okay. So that's just a little behind the scenes on the logo. Does anybody have any questions or anything that I've missed perhaps? Anything?
Sterling, I was able to get it. You were a little on the quick side, but I was able to catch up. So
Sorry. Okay, so just a simple exercise just to show a couple of things, the colors, the elements, the text. This, you know, is just a little experiment. So it might not be the most handsome real life logo, but it's just for the principle of going through it and doing some learning on it. So this is now, we're going to call this our logo. So what we can do now is go into download and we can name it. So it auto names by what text you've used. So it's already named Vision Apparel. So that's perfect. So I'm just going to name logo up here. And then over in the corner, we can download it. So we can download this in a number of formats. You can do PNG, you can do straight to PDF, you can do PDF print. So there's a number of different formats here. I like the PNG. It works the best on social media and it has the highest quality image on it. So we're going to choose that. So we've chosen PNG and we're going to download it. So we're choosing download and then that can save right to our computer. The great thing about Canva as a program is it's still completely online. So even if I had to move over and go to another computer, I could log in and this design would still be there. I could go onto their mobile app on a phone or on a tablet and this design would be there as well. So using your login, you can create your branding, your flyers, whatever you need to do with graphic design, and it'll stay in one place for free and be really uniform and it works great. So we've added that. I've downloaded it onto my computer. So that would allow us to send it out, to put it on social media, wherever that we need to put it, we could do that. So this is our first design now. What we're going to go ahead and do is do a flyer. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to move on from this screen. Okay, we're going to go over to, go ahead.
Before you move on, we've created this and it's a certain size. And maybe you'll get to this when we do the flyer, but when you take it into a flyer, sometimes you need your logos to be larger or smaller. Will this be able to be enlarged and shrunk once we take it into a flyer, or is this the set size?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because here's what we can do, okay? So I will show you this in just a moment. So we're gonna start a full page flyer, okay? 8.5 by 11. Just like this would be. This is the other way, but 8.5 by 11. So this is 11 by 8.5, right? So I'm going to show you how to scale that. So if we go and click home, our design's been saved, and now we can start a new one, okay? So before we just typed logo, and it came up right through here. What we're going to do this time is click custom dimensions. Does everybody see that in the corner? Should be just under that little banner.
I have a gray square in the middle of my screen that is not moving.
A gray box.
Gray box, everybody.
I've got it too.
It's pretty significant in size.
Is it gone now? Hang on.
No.
No.
Right now, is it gone?
No.
It's shrunk,
That's smaller.
shrunk
It's
it.
a little rectangle. Oops.
Is it moving?
Your arrow is on it, I think.
Yes.
Okay, so that's from me. So don't worry about that. Sorry if that's in the way.
I just couldn't see what you were doing off to the left, that's all.
Oh, no problem. So we're just going off to the right here. So we're back on the home screen. We're just gonna go down under custom dimensions. Does everybody see that?
No,
How did you get there? Yeah.
you're looking for, custom dimensions. Oh, I got it. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna click on that, and the PX is in pixel count, but this is basically your aspect ratio. So if you think about a photo, a portrait photo is gonna be, smaller width than it is height, right? That's how it's a portrait and it'll stand up. If you want a landscape where it's longer and shorter, you need to do greater width and height. The easiest way to do this for a flyer, I do this all the time. We're gonna click on the PX where the arrow is for a drop down, and it gives you some measurements here. So I'm gonna use the IN for inches. So we can click on this, and what this will do is format the digital design to print perfectly on a full size piece of paper. But you can make this any size that you want. You could do a 2-inch by a 3-inch and do it really small. You could do anything that you want. You just type right into these, okay? So we've clicked inches under custom dimensions, and we're gonna do a portrait style flyer as a mock-up ad to say we're promoting some clothing, some denim jeans with Vision apparel, okay? So we're gonna go through this. We're gonna do 8.5, okay, for the width. And on the height, we're gonna do 11. So that'll do 8.5 by 11 on, a full page, okay? So once you've inputted those, you can click on New Design. And now this here is an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So as you go through and you do ads for promotionals, you can actually go through and use some templates. So at the top here, they have their templates. These are template ads that you can adjust, you can get inspiration from. Even if you don't use every piece of them, they are very helpful to see. Sometimes you can kind of get, sort of writer's block, but for graphics. And so it helps to see some different designs. So those are displayed here, but we're not going to use one of those for right now. What we're going to do, we can zoom in a little bit. So over here in the bottom right corner, it says 37. We're going to click on that, and that allows you to use your zoom. Sometimes you need to get closer for better detail. Or you need to see the whole picture. So it defaults to fit, but I'm going to zoom it in a little bit, just a preference. So I'm going to put it here at 50. Now what we can do, because I've downloaded the image file, I'll show you how to scale it for documents, okay? So we're gonna go into this with uploads here in the corner, and we're gonna choose an upload. So because we've saved the image, we can now use that as an entire picture to put over our other documents and materials. So we can click on that and open it, and it will upload. And then we can click it and it'll join. So now the logo that we've made is exactly available for sizing, okay? So I've done the same with the Beaumont Chamber. So all the documents and stuff that I use, I can scale this to whatever size that I want, and I can drag it anywhere that I want. Just the same as the Vision one that we made. So the question earlier of, can you resize it? What does it need to look like? Once you've saved it as its own design, you can then upload it into the corner here, and then you can scale it to be whatever size that you need to, okay? So we're gonna use this. We wanna have our logo. I'm gonna put it down here. And because our mock-up ad is going to be selling some clothes, we want a picture of clothes. So we're going to be selling some denim jeans. So I've clicked on photos, and we can search with this. So with photos, I'm just going to type in jeans. Okay, so we could type in anything that we'd like. We're going to type in jeans and press enter. And boom, here we go. So we've got a couple of different things. You can just click right onto these and they'll jump over, and then we can scale with them and play with them any way that we'd like. So we've got a couple of different options here that look great. This could be good, but we don't see too much of the jeans. We've got those there. You can do this with any kind of photo. Has anybody had any trouble looking that up? Okay,
Hey,
perfect.
Sterling,
Uh-huh.
question. You lost me at how to add in the save.
The logo.
Yeah.
So all we did was go to uploads
Which is, sorry, where, show me on your screen.
on the top left here.
Okay.
So we chose uploads.
My problem is that when I did the download, it didn't go. So I go to uploads and there's nothing there.
Okay.
Where I didn't get my download done correctly.
You can move any image into it.
Okay, I'll just play with something else.
And then I clicked on this.
Did you download it when we were through with the other logo image?
I thought I did, but I must have missed a step because it wasn't in my upload. So
It wasn't in your computer file download, is that correct?
I don't understand that question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
When we downloaded from the top, you can still see my screen, right?
Yeah,
We did the download right up here where the hand is,
right.
and that should have downloaded by default into a PNG onto your computer. So if you're not sure, if you did save it, but you're not sure where it went, you could go into your My Computer or your File Explorer, and then I first would check downloads because that's where mine defaulted to. It just went right into downloads on the computer because it was a fresh download and we didn't tell it where to go.
Okay, so it's in downloads on my computer. How do I get it?
Okay, so what we'll do,
Oh,
click
can I just download
right
it
up
from here?
here. Yeah, so you need to once it's been downloaded, to get it onto your set of visuals here, you just need to click the big blue upload button and then select it.
Oh,
Has that helped?
yeah. Didn't work quite yet, but I know what to play with.
Okay. So once it's in there, then you can drag it over and drop it, rescale
That's what I
it,
did.
move
It
it around.
worked. It
Okay.
worked.
So does everybody have that? Dad, were you able to get it?
Yes.
Yeah, I was able to upload it, and I'm caught up to where I have the jeans photo just like yours.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm sorry I'm moving so fast.
No, it's a good program.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm very excited about it. I use it all the time. So I'm going to put your faces down here. That's that gray box. So we're going to get back to this now. So we've got a picture of jeans. We've got our logo added. So we're just going to keep this really simple. So what we're going to do is just scale this up. So I'm going to start it in the corner, and then I can scale it across and up and down. If I do it across first, I can do it this way, bring it to the edge. And then if I use the bottom slider here, all it's going to do is zoom in, which is okay. So we're going to zoom that in. But now we've covered our other logo, right? So we need to fix that. So what we can do to put this behind the other image, this will be very important as you work with piecing together a large document or a large image. You can go back to position. Click on position, and then we have an option to push it backwards. So this will put it behind the other logo. So if we click this, the other logo will pop back up. So we can click backward, and there it is. There's our Vision apparel, okay? So we now need some text. So because this is a sale ad, we're gonna pretend like maybe these are 30% off or something, okay? So we're gonna go in here under text, and there's actually a template here that we can use. So I'm gonna search this for you because it may not be on your computer. We're just gonna go into the top and type the word sale.
Say that again. Oh, you're looking for sale. Okay.
Yeah, under text, just at the
Gotcha.
top, we click sale. Now these are where the templates come in very handy. This makes it very, very easy for us. I like this huge sale right here. I think this is great. So I'm gonna click on this and I'm gonna drag it over, okay? But it's not the right color, is it? So we can adjust this. So we are going to have to ungroup this first. So this came as a group. So we're gonna ungroup it. And that allows us to play with the text color here. You'll see that with the A and the yellow underneath here. So we're gonna click on this, and this allows us to use our colors, okay? So we're gonna make this a darker red color. Okay, and maybe we need something to help the words stand out a little bit. So what we can do, we can go into elements after we've added our words and we've colored them. Does anybody need more time for that?
Yeah, one more time. How did you go to the colors?
So I ungrouped them first after I dragged it over. So I dragged it over.
Okay,
I clicked ungroup right up here at the top.
Ungroup. Okay, let's see.
Where is it?
That allows us to get to the color. So I went ahead and did that. And then in text, it's right under here, yellow under the A. Can you see that?
Slow down.
It's right under the cursor.
I never did find ungroup. Now I just,
Ungroup is going to be on the corner right here.
let's see.
So if we bring it over, ungroup is in the top right corner there. Do you see that?
No, none of those are there. It's just nothing there.
You have to
Try-
highlight the text
Clicking
box.
on the words.
Say that again.
Have you moved the words over?
I did, but there's, where you have that line all the way across with position and ungroup and stuff, but it's missing. Wonder why it's missing. It's hidden. All I have is animate on that line. But don't slow things down. I can play with it and
Okay.
figure.
Well, if you can see on my screen, I'm not sure what you're seeing exactly, but if you can see on my screen, I've clicked on the words to get ungroup to come up, and then
Oh,
it just ungroup.
got you. I got it now. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. And then the words. So then we've colored it. Okay, so I'm gonna get
And
rid of
then
that one.
Where do you go for color?
For color, you can click on each set of words, and then you can just
I see
click
color.
under the A on the
Yeah,
color side. And then you can choose either a pre-done color on the left, or you can do a new color, and you can use this to scale, or use a color code. That's where we talked about the branding. If you
Right.
branded and said, this is my red, this is my color, you can save this code and write it down somewhere. And then anytime that you start something new, you can punch in that color to get back to it. Does that make sense?
Yes, good.
Perfect. So we're now going to move in. We're going to put something behind the words here so that they show up a little better. So we're going to go into elements. And I'm going to grab a shape. So we've got shapes down here. I just scrolled just a little bit. We could also just type and search for these. But I'm going to grab a shape. I'm going to look for, let's see here. Triangle would work. and I'm going to color this. So I've clicked on the square in the top here in the top left corner to color it. So I'm going to color it white. And we've got a little icon here that allows you to rotate certain things. So I can actually grab these two arrows that are kind of swirling around each other. And if I hold that, it'll give me the degrees and I can spin it any way that I want to, okay? So I'm gonna spin this. And I'm gonna put it up here, okay? And then I'm gonna use the scaling to kind of do like a 1/2 and stick it up there, okay? So I've just taken the triangle, I've rotated it about 90 degrees, I think it was. Yeah, 90 degrees. And I put it up here in the corner so that the words can stand out. So I'm gonna, again, go to position because it needs to be behind our words. So I'm going to hover, I'm hovering over position here. I'm gonna click on this and I'm gonna put it backwards. So that means it's gonna go one layer back so that the text will jump out on top of it, okay? So I click that twice and you can see now it's layered behind the sail. So now what we can do is just move each of these over a little bit. And this one I'm gonna shrink a little bit. So we've added those in, okay? So we can see the words, they're easy to see. And that's part of that, you know, kind of put yourself through it as a viewer, not just the person creating it. It was a little tough to see immediately, right? You want it to be easily seen right away. So we've added that, we've scaled it in, we've moved the text just a little bit using the scaling tools. Does anybody have any questions or any trouble with that? How did we do? Did we do okay?
Yeah, I got the same thing you do, Sterling.
Okay, perfect. So the only thing now that I'm going to add is one more text. So I'll show you how to copy something. I like this. Just the outline font looks great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and now I've got it set up so we can see our options. But to duplicate it, what I'm going to do is something a little different. I'm going to right click on it with the mouse. Now we've got some new options, okay? I can copy it, I can paste it, or I could even delete it from here. And then these other options down here have to do with its position, and whether it's below something, if it's above something, but we're not going to use those right now. I'm just going to click copy. So I've right clicked on the word sail, and now I'm going to click copy and it'll produce a duplicate, okay? So if I click copy, then I can right click again somewhere else and I can choose paste using the clipboard. That will produce the second one, okay? See how it duplicated? Now I have two. So I'm going to type in this box, so I've double clicked it, and we're gonna say it's a 30% sale, okay, 30% off. So we're gonna just type inside of here, 30% off, okay? And now this I'm gonna add in the other corner. So this I'm gonna make white. So we'll need to color it again. So we'll go up here to the top under the text color. And we're just gonna choose white, okay? So text color right up here and then white. And then I'm just gonna scale it up a little bit and put it down here. Okay, so that is a look at how to do a full page flyer. So what we could actually do now is download this. So we've got our name up here, 30% off. And then once again, if we want to download, you can go through here, just click on the download and it'll ask you what type you need. If you wanted a PDF file instead, you could do that right here. So you just click on the file type. You could even do PDF if you want to. We're going to leave it as a PNG, but you can download it from there. You can also share a link to it if you wanted to show it to somebody else. And I think you can even print it right through here too.
Sterling, when you're going to download, where is the default name for it?
What is the default name?
Does it give one for that when you've created a flyer, or do you just, once you save it, then, because I understand it'll save in Canva, and you can save it separately as a save as for any other name on your computer, but how would you change the name if it's saved in Canva?
In the Canva name, it's the top right here next to where it says try Canva Pro, and I could type anything that I want into here.
Okay, all right.
And then that will name it both when you download it, it'll be that name. And then when it's in your designs in Canva, it'll stay that name as well. So you download it from there. That would go right onto your computer. So it's downloaded here. And
Sterling,
then
when
I
you,
do this all the time.
when
Go
you
ahead.
say, I'm sorry, when you say download here, I have no idea where here is because there's this lag. So I need you to please slow down just a hair so
Sure.
I can catch up.
I'm sorry. The download is in the top right corner.
I got that. And then,
So if you click download
right,
in the top right corner, there'll be a big blue horizontal bar that says download.
I'm with you.
So that is where you can click and it'll send it right onto your computer as a new download.
And then just build a folder for them to drop into.
However you want to organize it. A folder would be terrific. You could do a folder. You could do just from your downloads. However you want to save it on your computer, it will be in Canva as well. So it'll be online. I always download it to print. So I was going to show you that. So I've downloaded it and clicked on it. So me at the chamber, this is where I'll take my full page and then I can just go over to the top right corner on my computer and click print. So that allows you to have the full size, you print it out. Once it's been downloaded, you could email it, you could put it online. Anywhere that you want to send it, you'll have it as an image. You can also save it direct to a PDF if you needed a PDF document instead. To do that, you just go under the file type and change it under the download, okay?
Okay.
Sterling, I
Okay,
have,
I'm with you.
Sterling, I have it says need to pay for the premium image.
It's possible that you pulled over a different image than I did.
Oh,
There are certain images that are premium only for access, like stock photos and things like that.
okay.
If you have one of those, they do want you to be a member to use it.
Okay. No, I didn't get the same jeans. So now I understand. Some do cost.
Right. So yeah, so they're, if you have the membership, they have monthly plans and stuff. It's great if you're going to use every feature of it, but by no means is it necessary.
And you've been able to do it without ever paying anything?
Yes, you can. I've never paid for it.
Okay. Good.
So that is a little showcase on that. I hope that wasn't too confusing. I apologize if I went a little fast. I can send you guys a link. This is going to go on our private YouTube channel. So it can only be viewed by those who attended here. But I can send you each a link to this video if you wanted to watch it back. But that's how we design some things here. Every promotional and flyer that I've made here at the Chamber, and all of our logos and social media I've made through that program. So I really recommend it. It's great. There's a ton of helpful tutorials online if you look up Canva tutorials and design tutorials. But the most important part is it's free. It's very accessible and you can do it yourself. You don't have to pay somebody. You don't have to, send it off for somebody else to do. It's very, very, very cool. So just a couple of final things. We've gone a little long in time. But just a couple of final things here that I wanted to share with you on your social media pages. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again.
Can I ask a quick question while you're going there?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, we created that flyer and you saved it. Can that flyer then sit in the right, if you will, format or whatever you call it, that it could then be put on Facebook and Instagram?
Yes. Yes. So I'm going to show you how I do this. Okay. That once you have that saved, you can put it anywhere. If it's going on to social media, you'll want to make sure it's typically an image, not a PDF. PDFs sometimes don't format as well, but you'll be able to put it out there. So I'm going to screen share again here. So we've saved this, we've added it on. I'm going to show you a couple of Facebook things, okay? So if I can get that bar to go away. We're going to go on to our Facebook. So this is our Facebook page. You may have seen this flyer I made in this shape and this size to promote this event using Canva. So that is one of them that we did. On social media, I want to talk about doing a quick check and making sure that your social media page is buttoned up, so to speak, that you've got the right kind of information on it. Give it a little check, some things that you can do to kind of engineer it and put it together. Okay, so can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our home Facebook page for the Beaumont Chamber, okay? So some things that we're gonna look at, first our images, okay? So these have been sized. You can find these image sizes online and shape them. But for our example, we could put our Vision Apparel logo right into here, okay? And it would be the appropriate shape. So here on the chamber, we have a good sized photo. So just making sure that it's not blurry, that it's formatted correctly. We can see all of it. It looks great, right? So we have that formatted. That is our photo. The cover photo is the appropriate shape as well. We can see all of the information. It's not blurry. It's been made for that size, okay? So it looks terrific. It might sound like small details, but it's very important, again, for those first impressions that you're buttoned up, you're put together, you look great. Social media, you only have one chance to make a first impression, okay? And you want them to follow, you want them to like, you want them to subscribe, whatever it is, you want them to connect with you. So the better that you can present yourself, the more likely they are to connect with you. So our images look great. So please make sure that on your social media pages, your images are the correct size and that they look great. You can use those tools in Canva to create a custom size image to put on Facebook. So that's exactly what I did with this cover photo. I created this inside of Canva. I created it to the Facebook cover photo size, and then I put it on here, and it's the perfect size. It looks great, and it makes a big difference. So having it together and having it formatted is very important. Some other things that you'll want to make sure you have on your Facebook page, we're going to go down here under the left under these tabs, they're called, okay? So you can see your home, your post, events, services. There's a bunch of different ones, but we want to make sure that we have the appropriate information for what we're set up with. So for us, we've checked on our images. We're going to check on events. You can post events through here. We have our event listed through here. We have services. Some of the things that the chamber does, events, sponsorships, our Good Morning Beaumont Breakfast. These are all things that we didn't have before I got into working with the chamber that I've added in so that people who are online and are curious about what we do can see it right here. For other businesses, this might look like things that you're selling. It could be services that you hold. Maybe it's getting a quote for something. Maybe it's coming down to an event. But these are things that I've added in. So it's important to create a full and complete, services page where you can. I've even added our conference room rental in here, even with a photograph, to try to help get more conference room rentals. So that's under our services tab. Under about, you have the info. So this is very important for people to be able to contact us. We've got our address. We've got Messenger here on Facebook, so somebody could send us a message right through Facebook. We have our call number, and we've got categories and our username, and we've got our hours, okay? So it might sound simple again, but just making sure that we have the right information is very important. Going through it, proofreading it, making sure it's correct is very, very important. So we've checked that with Facebook. Just making sure that it's put together and it's done in a way that has the right information and puts you on your best behavior with Facebook. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to mention, we're going to take a look at posts here. At the chamber, we post a lot. We have a lot of information. We have a lot of events typically, and we have a lot of businesses that we're sharing. So we share a lot on Facebook. So on our post here, we have a lot of different things that we're saying. So this was a day ago, 2 days ago, 2 days ago. We post once or twice a day typically. We can expand on this in perhaps a future meeting, but I want to really show you something here. It's very, very important that with your business and with social media, you try to be as consistent as possible. Sometimes this is hard if there's not a lot to say, but you want to make sure that you have regular things that you're sharing and that you're talking about. Consistency is really the number one thing with digital marketing. So one of the things that we use here to remain consistent, and it's not necessarily you couldn't do without it. It's not absolutely critically necessary, but a very nice luxury that we use here is a scheduling tool. So I'm going to switch tabs here to a website called Loomly. Loomly is a social media posting service. So what this allows me to do, this is a calendar that you're looking at. This is our 2020 posts for social media with the Beaumont Chamber. So what I do when I handle our media and our services is I allow the tool here in Loomly to post the things for me. So we have a posting schedule. So this is very important. You've probably heard of things like Taco Tuesday or the Thank God It's Friday posts. Waffle Wednesday used to be a big one. Something where they kind of come up with a catchy title, but it's a regular thing. So you can probably expect to see tacos on a taco place on Tuesdays, right? Some kind of promotional or something else, right? The reason that they do these kinds of things is so that there's it can continue. There's some continuity and some continuing to it. So what we do is we use this scheduler here to input these posts. So each one of these is a post, okay? You can see all the different names. You can see the different platforms that they were on. We've added some more recently, so that it'll go out on even more. But this is a tool that you might consider. Whether you use something to post for you or not is up to you. But the reason that we use a tool like this is I can load it up, and then without touching it or even being logged in, or even when I'm out of the office, like Friday through Sunday, it will schedule a post for us. So that is something that works really great if you want to be able to keep your Facebook or your Instagram, whatever how you have current, even if you're in and out. But really what you want to do is just allow yourself a chance to share content on a schedule. Say you post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You're going to do 3 posts a week. The reason that that's very important is people will begin to expect it. And the people that follow you will see the patterns. We post typically at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or if we do in the morning, about 9 or 10 a.m. So the people that follow us can expect to see updates most every day
Yeah.
during those times. So that's something that you want to keep in mind on social media is adding something, going through it and, creating it, engineering it in a way. So having a schedule really helps to create the content, to put it out there and for people to know that it's coming. Does anybody have any questions about that? Does that make sense? Okay, perfect.
Makes sense. I guess the question is it a free service or is there a charge?
On that one, there is a charge. I demonstrate the tool to show you that there's options to provide accessibility and to provide peace of mind and some freedom with it. We use that so that we can have posts that go out automatically. And if I'm in a meeting, if I'm visiting members, I don't have to be sat down at my desk to put a post out. I can schedule it. I know when it's going to go out. And, Betty can even review those before they go out. So that's a luxury that we have. It's by no means required. You could take a sheet of paper and write, we're going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. and do posts. But the important thing is you try to come up with, at least as far as you can, some regularity. Sometimes we have a lot to say when things are going on, and other times things get quiet and there's not a whole lot to talk about. So that is a huge tip with social media is the consistency. Try to say as much as you can with as much regularity as possible. Unless anybody has any questions, the only thing that I have left to say is not to give up. The design tools, it takes time to get used to it. It doesn't happen overnight. I myself have worked with a tool for about a year and a half to 2 years. I found it first when I was doing social media marketing with BYU Idaho. It was a tool that they introduced to help. It's free. I really enjoy it, but it does take a little time to get the tips and tricks of it. So be patient with yourselves on those. But even on the rest of social media, my favorite quote about success with either advertising or with digital marketing is that it's not a Valentine's date. You don't make it as special as you can one time. It's a committed relationship. You have to have the daily efforts. You have to be consistent. You have to be involved and invested in it for it to really perform. Social media is amazing. It's as popular now perhaps as it's ever been. So it's very important for businesses to have the tools and to go through it and to learn some things, but to present themselves well. And that's why we wanted to do this, was to give the chamber members some tools to work for themselves, to demonstrate some awesome graphics online, to share their flyers and advertising, to put some things together. But to have the confidence to know that there's options out there and that you can do it yourself is really what I would most like to leave you with. The consistency really is the most important part. As you're consistent with it and you give your efforts to social media, that's where the success will come. If that's in terms of followers and people interacting with you, maybe it's leads online to your business, customers interacting with you, whatever it looks like for each of your businesses, the success will be over time. Our Facebook page is very successful with the chamber, but I can't take almost any credit for that at all because it's been around for many, many years. So it takes time. If anybody has any questions, now would be the time. It is possible that we follow this up and we do some more. We could go into some further design stuff. We could go more into social media, wherever there's a need. But this was, again, a brainchild of ours to help put ourselves in front of our members. It's a difficult time. It's a strange time. But the internet is still open. They can't close the internet. So we can take advantage of that and use it to share our business. So I want to thank each of you for coming. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Sterling.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if you have questions, yeah, go ahead, Jeanette.
Just one quick question. I always have questions. We have our logos now. I I don't have, as I mentioned to you, I have them in a higher resolution or art illustrator and some others. I can't even open the EPS, but can I drop them into this program the way they are?
So I checked for you. I got your email and I checked for you before we started. Unfortunately, this particular program can't convert those.
Okay.
I'll try to find a workaround. Like I said, if you email me those, I'll try to find something. And if I can convert them, I'll send them back to you. But you're not able to use Canva for that, no.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Are you saying the logo has to be created in Canva?
No, so she had perhaps an artist or a specific company make a logo in a format that isn't easily accessible except by a high-end design tool. So it's a little bit different. The Canva images can be put anywhere. Those are saved as like a PDF or a JPEG file. Those are regular.
Okay, so if I have Carol's Kitchen logo as a PDF file or as just a picture of it, I could drop it into Canva
Into
or
Canva.
download it?
Yes, you can. And then you'd be able to scale it, to crop it, to size it down. That's how, if you saw me use the Beaumont Chamber logo, that little circle, that's how I did it, is we had the photo file already, and I just dropped it right into Canva, and I was able to scale it and to use it however I wanted to.
Great. I will try that.
Okay, so if anybody has any questions with anything, you're always welcome to reach out to me. I don't get enough emails in my inbox. I'm not sure anybody else can say that. I'm sure you're all very busy, but mine's a little empty sometimes. So if you need some help, send me an email. It's marketing@Beaumont CA Chamber. It would have been the email address that I sent this information to you from. So take an eye, check that out. If you have questions that come up about digital marketing, if you just need to chit chat or bug somebody about something, I'm here to help all of our members any way that I can. So if you have any questions, sometimes things come up later as you're thinking. Maybe you'll have some lunch and something will come to your mind. Just email me if you have any questions. Okay.
So much. This was very.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in and for joining with us. I hope that everything was explained okay. I'm going to upload this to our YouTube channel as a private link so that only the attendees here can view it. And I'm going to email that to each of you. So if you want to go back through again and take a look at what we did, you'll be able to view that again as well. Okay.
Well, thank you, Sterling, because I got a little lost because I couldn't see on my phone your screen really well. So I had to finally just give up and watch. But we don't do social media at the bank, and we have someone that does all our flyers, but I'm thinking for Rotary, it might help me.
You can use it for anything, even personal things.
Yeah.
I made a little birthday card for my girlfriend using it. So you can use it for anything that you want, even if it's personal. So you can actually go ahead and use it for different things. The Rotary maybe has some events and flyers that you could create and could share with it. That could be great.
Good idea, Linda. We're in the same Rotary, so good idea.
Yeah, she'll be watching for them. She'll give you a letter grade, how they are.
I'll be practicing with Habitat, and I'll let you practice with Rotary.
Well, thank you all again so much. If you have any questions, just send me an email, okay?
Awesome. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.